Forbidding is at 66 to 1 and Starfall is at 200 to 1.
Cheers, Stuart. Yeah, this Manila Warrior expensive. 180,000 they paid for Manila Warrior. David Bass and Kim Bailey teaming up with this son of King's Theatre.
He's second in his Irish point-to-point. That was behind Lockderg Spirit. That form's worked out extremely well. As you say, paid 180,000 at the Doncaster Sales last spring, and then he was in deep for his rules debut. First run for Kim Bailey, listed bumper at Ascot, soft ground that day. He ran well for a long way, got tired late on. He's had a decent break. He's bred to be a good horse. He's from the family of Menora, and he seems pretty solid in the market.
We're thinking this could be an above-average bumper. It's none of your business has been well fancied today. Spoke with Dan Skelton earlier on the card, and he was saying this horse is fit enough to win today.
He's an intriguing horse. He's a real unknown quantity. He won an English point-to-point at Horse Heath on decent ground. Went off 2 to 1 that day. Won by 3 parts of a length. What the form amounts to is anybody's guess, but Dan seemed to speak in pretty positive terms in the yard. Had a good bumper winner yesterday at Warwick.
Yeah, they did. And he's by Flemingsfirth, and he was saying he was always going to come to a Wetherby or a Chepstow. He's a big, strong, galloping, old-fashioned type, I think.
Yeah, what was interesting, Dan was also due to ride Frankie Rapper, and if you read into the jockey bookings, Harry Skelton was always down for this one that he's running. So whether that was significant, I don't know, because Frankie Rapper had got some good form at Kempton.
He did. The reason Frankie Rapper was a non-runner, we asked him earlier on, was to do with the ground. If they'd ever had a bit more rain, he might have left that one in, but they haven't. What about this Duke de Barry? Nicky Henderson's horse has had a couple of starts. He's by presenting. Should be all right on the ground.
Yeah, I think he'll improve for better ground. Both races have been soft ground. Fosslas and Warwick. He was beaten 6 1/4 lengths first time out. Then he was beaten 4 1/2 lengths. They were okay runs, but you won't get too excited about them. Being by presenting, he may improve for better ground.
Yeah. That Manila Warrior, though, going back to the favourite, behind Lockderg Spirit, which looks very good form indeed. Must ask you about David Pipe's horse, Duke de Beauchesne. JP McManus, well represented today.
He was an expensive 3-year-old. He cost €145,000. Made his debut at Fosslas, typical Fosslas ground. It was very deep that day. Went off 4 to 1. He was only beaten half a length. It was a promising start to his career. It's a case of whether he's quick. Well, he should have learnt from the first run. It's whether he's quick enough, I suppose, on a better surface here. But it was an encouraging start.
Exciting times at Brian Ellison's yard. They've got Red Admiral for the definitely red rather for the Grand National to look forward to, and they've got New List in this one. Brian's wife Claire owns this horse, New List. Only a 4-year-old. Kane Wood takes off a handy 7, a winner at Barbary Castle, and by all accounts he had to show tenacity to win that day.
Yeah, he's got an interesting background, because from reading the Racing Post website, he's ex-Godolphin. Then he started off. He was sold for 10,000. Then he went into a point-to-point, which he won by half a length. He's now with Brian Ellison. Rightly or wrongly, I took it as a negative that. Nothing against him, but Brian's wife still owns it. If he's a really good horse, would he not have sold it to one of his high-profile owners?
No, you've got to keep the wife happy. Give her the good horses, Mark.
Right, fair enough. Well, that was no longer a negative then, but that was the only thing I could find.
Happy wife, happy life. Kalashnikov, this horse in the colours of Paul Murphy. Always good to see his horses. They're always decent types, long-term prospects.
Yeah, and this was the one that was money round for last night. I think it was about 20s into about 8s this morning. He's bigger price now, but he was very well backed. He cost €35,000 as a foal. He's a full brother to Kalan, same owner's horse, who's been a good horse. He's from the family of Kicking King, so the fact there was money around early doors suggests that he might be all right.
Yeah, that Kalane was a good horse, wasn't it, for him? Let's get back to the betting. Number 5, Manila Warrior, 9 to 4. Number 2, Duke de Barry is 5 to 1, along with 7, Duke de Beauchesne. 6 to 1, number 4, It's None of Your Business. That could be a decent little each way flutter, that. 9 to 1, number 12, New List, and bigger the rest.
Just mentioned Phantom Isle, trained by Chris Grant. He's ex-Simon Crisford, didn't run on the flat, picked up for 14,000 at the July sales. He's a half-brother to Northumberland Plate winner, Antiquarian, so, he's bred to have a bit of speed.
Last race on the card, Mark, for this 7-race affair. Family Fun Race Day, Sunday 23rd of April. I'm sure Mark will be back for that as well. Any opportunity to come to West Yorkshire, Mark jumps at the chance. And you'll probably stay over tonight. I know it's only a few miles up the road to Kirby, but you probably want to stay over in Yorkshire just to stay out, enjoy the trip.
No, I am back here in April. I think it might even be that meeting you're talking about. So Yeah, looking forward to the journey home. A65 through likes of Skipton, etc. Stuck behind every slow driver, horse box, caravan, etc. Looking forward to it.
Well, you would like that slow route because again, you don't like to leave Yorkshire too speedily. They're coming in for the last race on the card. With thanks, we rejoin Gareth.
Thanks, Peter. Worst part of the job, isn't it, the driving? They're coming in. And they are off and racing for our finale here today, the Family Fun Race Day, Sunday, the 23rd of April, Standard Open National Hunt Flat Race, a 2-miler, and Duke de Barry sets off prominently with a New List along the inside. A further length away to find Forbidding, who's taking quite a keen hold. They're not going overly fast, but that is the case usually with these races. Manila Warrior, the market leader, the dark blue and yellow half jacket, races in company with It's None of Your Business towards the near side, the yellow armlets on the dark green sleeves. Further back then to find Starfall, who's just tracking It's None of Your Business through. That one racing in company with Motley Crew. Danseur du Large is with those. And then over to the far side is Kalashnikov, who's being chased through rather closely at this point by Duke de Beauchesne. At the back end of the field, Just Bobby and also Phantom Isle, but they're very tightly grouped here as they head on down past us with a circuit left to stride. There is only 7 or 8 lengths, if that, between all of them. New List out in a narrow lead here. Now with trainer Brian Ellison, this horse a winner of a point-to-point bumper down at Barbary Racecourse in January. With up towards the outside Duke de Barry, they are the leading pair as they head on away from us. A length or so further away then to find Blotos, who's over towards the inside with Forbidding. And then out wider, It's None of Your Business, who races in company with Manila Warrior, all of those 4 in a line. A length and a half back then to Kalashnikov, a full brother to the useful mare Kalane. That one over towards the inside of Motley Crew, and then Danseur du Large, who races at this stage level with Starfall, and then Duke de Beauchesne in the JP McManus hoops at the back end of the field, just in advance of Phantom Isle, who races wide of Just Bobby for trainer Mickey Hammond and Joe Colliver, who is seeking a first and last race double. Down the far side of the track they head to halfway. New List up along the inside in the red and yellow colours, without a little bit wider Duke de Barry, and deeper still is It's None of Your Business as they race now for their final 3/4 of a mile. Blotos is over to the inside under Danny Cook, tracked through by Kalashnikov, with Forbidding still prominent enough, the horse with the white face buried away at the moment, and that one just ahead of the race favourite Manila Warrior as they prepare to make the left-handed sweep out of the back straight. Still very tightly grouped here. We're going to be set for a bit of a dash over the concluding stages. New List along the inside, with up towards the outer Duke de Barry. They are still the leading pair. 3 parts of a length away in third, It's None of Your Business, who's now shaken up to close, as is Manila Warrior, who's now up into a dispute of 4th, with Blotos now being pushed along towards the inside. Kalashnikov is moving all right. Then comes Forbidding as they're heading on the left-handed sweep back towards the straight. Duke de Beauchesne is the latest to be ridden along, has moved ahead of Motley Crew. Just Bobby follows. Then Danseur du Large as they head on down the home straight with a little over 3 furlongs to run. Duke de Barry now goes on ahead of New List, with up towards the outside in the sheepskin noseband Manila Warrior looking very menacing indeed. Kalashnikov is back in behind those looking to pick up, and then one from the left is It's None of Your Business. On the left, Just Bobby is picking up rather eye-catchingly in the red and white coloured jacket, and now they're all pushing and shoving as Kalashnikov is fired into the lead. To the outside, Just Bobby, Manila Warrior sticking to it along the inside. They've now gone on ahead of New List and Duke de Barry. Down they come towards the final furlong. Over to the near side, it is Kalashnikov. On the far side, Manila Warrior. These two doing battle. They race fairly wide apart, but it's now a 2-length lead held by Kalashnikov, who, despite still looking a little green in the closing stages, is powering on, and Kalashnikov goes on to win the last. A winning debut for Kalashnikov, the Amy Murphy stable. It's Manila Warrior for second, Just Bobby in third, close for the minors in behind those, Forbidding up towards the outside of Duke de Barry, Blotos and New List.
We've seen some smart types there, I fancy. Number 10, Kalashnikov, is the winner, shoots down the rivals, with Manila Warrior and Mark Howard's charity bet finishing second. Remember, advice given at 9-2 earlier on. This newcomer of Paul Murphy's in Amy Murphy's yard has won at 12-1, and they've come well clear. The third, Just Bobby, Mickey Hammond said he'd come on for the run. That's a massively encouraging run from that 4-year-old. And Forbidding looks as though he's finished in 4th position. Yeah, that's that's confirmed. And Duke de Beauchamp, keen early, pushed along, turning for home. He may well have finished 5th in JP's colours. But Kalashnikov, the winner from the family of Kicking King.
Yeah, the money was right, wasn't it? As I said last night, or said before, it was back last night from about 20 to 1 into 7s, 8 to 1, then he drifted just before the race, but he was clearly accurate. Good family, as you say, from the family of Kicking King, related to Kalan, full brother to Kalan as well, and he's done it in good style. Solid run from Manila Warrior. Is a dropping grade compared to his listed race. I think he's all about stamina. He just lacks the gear. All he does is stay. And possibly with hindsight, David Bass would have kicked on sooner than he did, because I think all he does is he just keeps on running at the one pace.
It's none of your business went well for a long way. We knew the horse was fit.
Yeah, but he comes off the bridle turning in. I think you knew he was going to struggle to win from that point onwards. Duke de Barry's had every chance in the Midland Park colours. He's upsides Brian Ellison's horse, New List, at this stage. He hasn't got the acceleration to really go on. And the David Pipe runner, Duke de Beauchamp, he was towards the back, and again he looked to stay as he had